What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to FEEKI Flips, the most dumbed down real estate channel on all of YouTube, because if I can make money doing this, then so can you. We're back with another question of the week episode, but before we get too far into it, make sure to smash that like button for us, help us out with the YouTube algorithm, allow this channel to grow, and allow this content to spread to other people that are interested in real estate or real estate investing. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the content that we'll be dropping, and also do every other generic command that every YouTuber tells you to do and no one ever does it. So today's question of the week episode doesn't come from a specific viewer, but the topic is the only thing that you should be worried about when you're getting into real estate. So this is for all the new investors out there, people who are just getting into wholesaling, just getting into flipping, just getting into finding off-market deals. This topic is the only thing that you should be worried about when getting started. So the topic of this video stems from a couple weeks ago when I was doing some prep for the monthly meetup that I run here in Reno, Nevada. I was going through the YouTube, I was going through the Facebook group that I have, just looking for reoccurring questions from people, and that usually makes a good topic if people keep asking the same questions over and over and over. Every single reoccurring question that I was seeing over those two platforms are really basic questions, and these are all questions that I had when I first started too, but they're all questions that are kind of irrelevant once you get going, and you figure that out pretty quick through your first deal or two. So some of these questions that I kept seeing is stuff like, which title company do I need to use? Which escrow agent do I need to use? How does EMD work? How do I find private lenders? How do I find cash buyers if I'm wholesaling? How do I form my LLC? How do I deal with taxes? All that type of stuff. Not to say that none of that stuff isn't important. It's all important, but when you haven't done a deal yet, a lot of that stuff is irrelevant, especially like LLC formation and taxes. It's like, if you don't have a deal, then you don't have income, and then no one's going to be coming after your personal assets if you don't have an LLC, if you don't have any income, and the IRS not coming for any taxes if you didn't make any profit yet. So it's kind of putting the cart before the horse. So all that being said, I know it's really hard to put all the unknowns kind of out of mind and just jump into this when you don't really know what you're doing. But really, when you're getting into real estate, especially wholesaling, flipping, finding off-market deals, the only thing that you should be thinking about is finding more leads. Finding more leads is by far the hardest part of the business and the most important part of the business. Now, you need to be looking at your lead generation as a big funnel, and hopefully JP can draw this somewhere on the screen so we can follow what I'm talking about here. Now, your funnel can be drawn in many different ways and have different subcategories in it. I'll go through a little bit about how my funnel looks and then actual numbers from my funnel as well. So at the very top of my funnel, we have leads. Next sub-step is offers. We have appointments, contracts, and then finally deals at the bottom. So you can see when you start feeding this funnel, the more leads you get, they funnel down into the more deals that you actually close. So the reason that our funnel looks this way, and these are the numbers that we track in our business, is it's very easy to reverse engineer this. If you want more closed deals, we know that to close a deal, you need a contract. And then from our experience, we know that it's a lot easier to get a contract when you're in front of the seller at an appointment. So the more appointments that you go on, the more contracts you're gonna get, the more deals that you're gonna close. Above that, you have to be making offers on your leads. So again, the more leads you get, the more properties that you have to make offers on. By making an offer, you're basically pre-qualifying the lead to see if you can buy it at a discount. So if we know that we're in the range on price, then we'll take the appointment. The more appointments that we take, the more contracts that we're able to get. The more contracts that we get, the more deals that we're able to buy. Before I go into my funnel numbers, why is this important as a new wholesaler, flipper, investor? So when you're first starting out in this business, your funnel is basically non-existent, right? You have no leads, you can't make any offers, you can't take any appointments, you're definitely not getting any contracts, you're definitely not closing any deals. That's why it's important to feed the top of your funnel instead of worry about all that other stuff that you can ask someone that's done one deal and they can answer for you in 5 minutes. The most important thing, keep feeding the lead machine. And especially when you're going through your first couple deals, it's very easy to get emotionally attached and you just want that first one to close, and there's so many unknowns and you're scared, you're talking to the seller, you're trying to take any appointments, yada, yada, yada. You finally get your first contract and you weren't good enough at your numbers and it falls apart. So that's why you need to keep focusing on getting more leads. You need to be following up with the leads that you have, but you can see how this funnel goes to nothing very fast. So you need to be just focusing on more and more and more leads to eventually get one deal that closes. It's very unlikely that you're going to be closing your first lead or even your first 5 or 10 leads as a brand new investor. And a lot of investors probably quit before they even get to the 20th lead where they might be able to close the deal. So just filling the top of funnel will get you deals. So to go through my actual funnel, these are our latest numbers as of January 1st of this year. Now, these funnel numbers are always changing for a number of reasons. Market temperature is a big one. Just the market and the area that you're in is a big one. How good you are at sales is a big one. All that type of stuff affects your funnel numbers. So this is what my funnel looks like. It's likely that your funnel will look a lot different. So let's start at the bottom of the funnel, since that's how we reverse engineer into these goals. So for every one deal that we buy, I'm taking on average 1.5 contracts. To get those 1.5 contracts, I'm going on 2 appointments. To get those 2 appointments, I'm making 12 offers. And to make those 12 offers, I am getting 20 leads into the top of the funnel. So to boil that down, for every 20 leads that the business is getting, we're buying 1 deal. Now you can see how those metrics I just mentioned change this funnel a lot. If you are an awesome salesperson, you might be able to close 1 out of every 10 leads, where a mediocre salesperson like me is only able to close 1 out of every 20 leads. If you're in a real estate market where it's much more common to sell your house off market versus here in Reno where it's not very common at all, you might be able to be a mediocre salesperson and close 1 out of every 10 leads. If the market wasn't such an extreme seller's market right now, I might be able to close 1 out of every 10 leads here in Reno. And these numbers also vary a lot on the types of marketing that you're doing. I mean, this funnel would look totally different if we were just looking at our PPC leads versus our bandit sign leads. This is just for every lead that comes into the business. This is our total business funnel. So of course the next question that pops up is, hey, that's all well and good, I understand the funnel, but how do I get more leads? And that is a topic for a completely different video on just marketing channels and all of that. Just to go into it real quick, I am of the mindset that all marketing works. It's just picking something that works for you in terms of your budget, your available time, your personality, what you like doing, all those things come into play. We will make a whole marketing video in the future and dive a little bit deeper into that topic. Just to quickly recap on what we just talked about, the most important thing you can do as a new investor is just focus on getting more leads. Just fill that top of funnel, and by filling that funnel, you will eventually get a deal, but the funnel has to be full before it produces a deal for you. It's very unlikely that you're gonna close a deal from 1 lead, your first lead ever, and it's a totally motivated seller and the numbers work and you were right, and all these things have to fall into place just to get that deal done. Just focus on following up with the leads you have and getting more leads to fill that funnel up. Make sure to drop a comment down below with any questions you have about the funnel, and also any other questions that you want me to answer on future episodes of Question of the Week here on the FEEKI Flips YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that like button for us, subscribe if you're new here, and thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode.